I wish my Diablos were that good. Being able to handle a Genji and a D.Va 2-on-1? What the heck, man? That's not realistic at all. You can't even handle it. I really do. I wish my Diablos were that good, man.
Oh, believe me, I feel you.
Awesome cinematic there. Obviously, D.Va going to be the next hero entering Heroes of the Storm, so very excited for that. Always need more tanks, of course, to bounce around in your roster.
I have to say, also during the break, I got a couple of tweets. I have to question all of you.
I mean, I'm winning, according to my Twitter. I have like 4-0 in voting for the horse. So horses, pwn pigs. That's a fact here. You learn at HGC. Let's figure out which battle we're going to.
I have a theory. Wait. We need to dig that out first. I have a theory. Because Min and I both prefer the money horse, I think you need to have a bald head in order to appreciate the value that riding on a living piece of bacon can provide to your life. So I think that's a hair thing. If I shave your head, you're gonna be riding the pig as well.
Bald head equals bald back for the pig. Got it. Sky Temple is the battleground we are going to. You need to quit being baldest, man. All because we have hair, you can't be hating on us. It's messed up.
I do. Watch me.
I can and I will, he says. So we're going to Sky Temple. Do you ban out the Vikings if you were Dignitas?
I hope not, because I want to see them.
They're fun to watch. They're pretty exciting.
They're really fun to watch. I like the last series a lot more than what we saw on the first map because, yeah, that was pretty one-sided. Okay, but Sky Temple. Once again, Globals, of course, playing a huge role. But let's think about what did we see the last time when these two teams... sorry, not these two, but when we had Synergy on this map.
The last time we saw it was...
Probe.
Yeah, you're right. Probius was pulled out, and it was actually a very strong match,
yes,
if I remember correctly. And then it went all the way to the end of the game, and because Vala got picked off, they lost it. The Probius was instrumental to them actually staying in the game.
Exactly. So that's something that I could see happen again. And Hydra can make that work. And you talk about Vikings, so put yourself into Dignitas' shoes for a moment. You've watched that game where Probius played a big role for Synergy. Are you worried about this? Maybe. Then you saw the Vikings the entire time and you wonder, hey, they just played them on 2 maps. We know that Hydra loves the Vikings, so do we ban them out here at some point? And that could be a concern. But Dignitas, they just stick with what they've been doing so far. There goes the immediate ban on Tacita. So let's see how Synergy is going to adapt now, because they are the team, of course, that has to make the plays happen.
Well, Synergy so far has been banning out false stats, so they don't have to deal with that pressure in any way, shape, or form. That still has left the Haka open, which has been the go-to for Dignitas, especially there on Dragonshire. So we'll see how the drafting will occur here. What's interesting also, just to keep talking about drafting, is you may have seen the Probius game and also made a note, or at least a mental note, hey, Probius is on Sky Temple. This might get picked up here by Synergy. But with you losing 2 in a row, or not losing 2 in a row, but seeing the Vikings twice in a row, like suddenly you start to lose track of all the heroes, and maybe Probius slips on through.
Yeah, then of course we have the question again, do they even play him?
Yep.
But it's a bit tricky, but again, Dignitas is the team that comes into this saying, we're going to win this series easy. They said, hey, this is the warm-up for us because we face Team Liquid later during the weekend. So for them, it should really be, let's do what we normally do. Let's just cater to our strengths and let our opponent adjust. And there's an early Greymane. I like that a lot more. I was questioning the Jaina on the last map a bit because it forces Dignitas to get these blow-up compositions where you eliminate a target right away. If you have an Abathar as they did on the last map, maybe with that double Greymane, which we also have seen on the first map by Dignitas, you have a bit more success here. Greymane, of course, being a fantastic asset no matter what. They pick him even first on this particular battleground, letting the Haka slip through. So they are not worried about, at least so far, the global against them.
So this makes Synergy think a couple times. Do they go for their Vala and their Ariel, which has been one of their go-tos that gives them the best chance to even win in most of their matchups, or do they grab Vala to Haka? I think they have to grab Vala no matter what. When they have Vala on this team, they have a strong anchor that really shows off their gameplay. Neon just brings it with his Vala gameplay. It's a second pick that's really kind of standing out for me. But if you get to Haka or you get Ariel, you always got to remember, Arthas is still available for the opposing team.
Yeah, Arthas is definitely still an option. The one of the reasons why the synergy between Oriel and Vala works so well for them is because Neon is always out there trying to just push the damage in. So that grants Oriel a lot of energy, a lot of hope that she can use. But they are shifting things around a bit. We have Arthas now together with Lucio. So one of the big parts about having these two in the same team is, of course, again, the movement speed that Arthas really benefits from. Probably the most out of all of the warriors that we have in the setup. But that's a different approach from Synergy to the game.
I am worried that Dignitas might ban out the Volley here for synergy. I understand they're grabbing the Arthas and the Lucio, both strong heroes. They give you the rotations, you get your hard engages. Like, we all understand the benefits, but I just feel like this team just does so well when they have their Vala up. And if I'm Dignitas here, I mean, I wouldn't mind a Vala ban. Granted, there are other things to move into, so you don't want to get bait into a ban that doesn't make any sense, but I think it makes a lot of sense for synergy. Ban it out.
This is a great start actually for Dignitas now into this. Greymane and Tyrael. That opens up two plays. The standard play is you have Sanctification. So Greymane goes in together with Tyrael, you drop the Sanctification and you wreak havoc. It also allows you on this map to make plays around the boss and steal that away from your opponent. One of the risks against Lucio is of course always that Judgment. We've seen it in NA, we've seen that play in Europe, where you attempt to Judgment one of the backliners, Lucio in particular, and then you go in together with the Greymane. Zeratul has been played with basically the same mindset in the past, so you can make that work. But again, traditionally you would see the Sanctification. But it's a very aggressive comp for the backline, especially if the Haka burrows in behind the opponent and tries to move in for a quick drag.
And it's a composition that Dignitas has excelled at multiple times. They've gotten to a point where they trust Zelia to get the engage every single time, and they go in for their hard movement. So you're going to have your Dahaka going in, you're going to have your Tyrael that can dive in. JPL loves to be aggressive on that character, and then you have your Greymane there. Like, Dignitas is in a great spot. I agree with you completely. Now, the Vala has been banned out, so thumbs up to Dignitas, obviously realizing where one of the stronger strengths are for synergy.
Synergy has to switch away from that standard go-to damage dealer, but if you go into Lucio Arthas right at the beginning of the draft, you are aware that's going to happen. You can't be so naive to think, hey, after we've been showing Vala every single time we can pick her up with the double supporter, with Zarya shields or whatever, our opponent is not going to pick up on that and ban her out. So they definitely... Oblivious was the word that I was looking for earlier. You can't be so oblivious as to think they would not ban out. So instead we are seeing the Lunara in this mix now, together with Auriel and with Lucio. So here we go, having that hyper carry Lunara this time, with a lot of assistance. Greymane is going to make this his target, and also is going to shut down to a certain extent any kind of Judgment play, because Auriel can now drop the potential Aegis.
Yeah, so synergy is in plan B with the Lunara. Lunara can work as a hyper carry. She just takes more time to actually kill somebody compared to a Vala. Vala can get that better auto attack DPS in, doesn't have to bounce around as much, but Lunara can just be as effective. She puts a lot of stress on the healers here, so Dignitas has to wonder what healer they want to move into. But Lunara, especially with Lucio and Auriel, are pretty susceptible here to dives. I really keep looking at this, and Judgment seems to be really the go-to.
Really? I think with Auriel now, Judgment is basically out.
Yeah, you think so?
Because of Aegis.
Okay.
Normally I would be a fan of any kind of Judgment composition that you can make happen, but
yeah,
that, especially now without LSBC, but once you have the Aegis in Auriel reacting fast, I don't think you can go for those Judgment plays anymore, because a simple Aegis can negate most of that, and then you have the heals right afterwards, so...
I guess from my side, I'm looking at, okay, they have Horrify available, they have Dahaka, well, now they have picked Gul'dan. They have Dahaka Dragon, and they have a way to bait out an Aegis, and then you just go for the Judgment, and then you blow up that target. But you are correct in the regard that Aegis could be a good setup. Tyrael typically is used as an opener, and not of like a layered fight, so yeah, you must be correct in that regard. We'll see how it shakes out.
One of the things I want to quickly point out is that if with Lunara being picked and the Arthas composition, keep in mind that on 13 you have a huge power spike because of the unfair advantage and the slows from Arthas. So that is actually great synergy, and I love it. We have the Proteus in there. As much as I hate Protoss, I'm happy that we have something else being tried here. We just need more Zerg.
I want a hero that's 4 Viking or 4 little Zerglings. He's running around, you micro them all. They're basically the Vikings. Give me a Viking skin or something. That'd be so sick.
You know what I want? People oftentimes ask me, hey, what kind of hero would you like? And normally I really don't care. What Blizzard throws in is usually fun, but I would like a Dreadlord. It was my preferred...
You have Jaina already.
I don't get that.
You don't get that joke?
No.
Oh, man, I'll have to meme you up later, man. Oh.
I am not the lore guy.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm totally not the lore guy. I'm on Dread with this.
I'll walk you through it, man.
You can either watch the videos or you can play the game. So
I play the game.
Coming back to it, Dreadlord in Warcraft 3 was my preferred hero playing Undead. I would love to have a good Dreadlord in the game. That is the one hero I want. We need a little bit more on that presence in Heroes of the Storm.
I wouldn't mind that. Reinhardt's the one that stands up for me. In fact, I was hoping that would be the reveal.
The German guy?
Yeah, man.
The German guy with the big shield?
Him just charging in,
that
shielding
was
stuff.
More French than German. I should be ashamed of myself.
Be so good. All right, guys, it's time to start it up here. Let's go into game number 3. You are all tied up here between Synergy and Dignitas with a 1-1. Let's move into Sky Temple and see how our teams clash.
Sky Temple, game number 3 as we are heading into a match between Team Dignitas and Team Synergy. And to the left side of the map, we have Mene on Gul'dan Bakery, on Malfurion Snitch, on Greymane Zelia, on Dehaka, and JPL on Tiro.
Synergy showing up here. The probe on your screen there being played by Hydra. Lucio will be played by Sir Ice Cream. Power will be played by be on Arthas. Neon will be on Lunara. And last but not least, Ariel on Zepka.
It really feels like Hydra at some point was simply looking at the games at HGC, was listening to the commentary and always was talking about ADRD, the mad scientist, and about his crazy heroes, and was thinking to himself, did you guys even see my hero pool? I'm gonna show you. And then he started bringing the Vikings out again. We have the Pro back to action, and he's making them look good. So once more we see him on Probius. Let's see if he can win this time. The last time they played it on this map, they lost in the end.
I think it's time that we officially give him a nickname. What if we call him the Mad Apprentice?
That's a little bit demeaning, isn't it?
How is it demeaning? He, like, ADRD was there first, and he's learning from him. Oh, hang on, a drag here. As Power taking some damage, he will heal there. That's not demeaning, that's an honor.
I don't know. I don't like the Apprentice. That feels like, yeah, you are the budget ADRD, and I think he's more than that.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. What do you guys think at home? Let us know. As always, we're paying attention. Arthas gets dragged underneath the tower. The fort is slowing him down. Ariel comes in with a detainment strike and saves his life.
And I think Hydra is actually a pretty good name for that. I mean, you have 3 heads on a Hydra, so...
The Mad Hydra.
He plays a few more than 3 heroes, but still, it's like he's very versatile.
I just think it would be cool if he had a nickname, man. Everyone in life wants a nickname. Everyone.
What is yours?
I don't have a nickname. I don't want one. Everyone else has wants a nickname. Everyone else.
Can we call you the hero's oddball or something?
Nah, man.
The special snowflake?
I don't think the special snowflake. I'm okay with that. I like being different sometimes. We're going to have our temples activated here as we hit the 1 minute mark in 40 seconds. So we're going to have the shots being fired, and Synergy will get a fort first as Probius is holding his own on that bottom.
Dignitas is actually at the bot lane doing a whole lot of work against that fort, but you are correct. Synergy with a forced fort taken, but with that extra fort picked up down to the bottom of the map, we should see Dignitas taking a lead, and it's already happening. The experience is skyrocketing up. It's an even trade in temples, more or less, and thanks to that extra structure taken out at the bottom of the map, Synergy is taking a pretty big hit here.
Yeah, so it was an odd strategy overall. Synergy put 4 people in the top lane to push in for that fort, and Probius tried to deal with the middle and the bottom lane, but in doing so, they lost out on experience because Dignitas put enough pressure on that bottom to actually have the rotation overall. So very hard for Synergy to actually get the fort as effectively as they had wanted because of Dehaka's drags. So now, as a result, they are behind in experience. 6-5 here by about, I'd say about half a bar.
For me, what I want to see is how exactly level 13 is going to change the way that Synergy plays it. As I said earlier, you have the synergy between Arthas and also Lunara in particular, thanks to unfair advantage and the force presence that Arthas brings to the table. And if you use that properly, it really just makes sure your team fights are going to become a lot stronger overall. So this is something to watch out for as we are progressing with the game. Of course, right now we're still quite a bit away from that. Level 7 talents on the side of Dignitas, and Synergy with an aggressive move trying to go for the camp. We see still Greymane to the top, and they're willing to take that 4 versus 4 fight even without the level 7 talent because of it.
Oh, JPL holding here. The boot comes in. They're trying to keep this camp from being grabbed. Eventually, Dignitas will have to forfeit it, and Synergy, with the power of Ariel and Lucio, the power of friends and healing, to take away Giants.
That was actually really cool. You could see how Lucio moved in, trying to just push them out of the spot. That didn't work. But with both healers still being there, Dignitas realized, guys, in the end, we're going to lose this fight. We can stand here for a long time, but if we don't get a really fast pick, this is just not happening. So they needed to move away. Now we still have level 7 talents for both sides. Lead for Dignitas. Probius in the middle of the map and Greymane active at the top. This is a bit of a battle that Dignitas is currently winning thanks to Greymane just pressuring on all ends, but at the bot lane we're seeing a different picture.
The bot lane, this 4-man rotation, continues to be a thorn in the side of Dignitas. But with the Memory Experience lead and moving towards 10, it's more of the infrastructure that's taking the beating as Synergy is getting that low. Do remember, though, that Dignitas in the middle of the first rotation of Temples did push in the middle lane and got that fort down to low health. So Probius is on double time here, defending that top lane and the middle lane and keep rotating between those lanes. JPL going for an engage. He's putting pressure on Ariel.
Nice damage by Gul'dan in particular. And Power of Dreams is down. JPL going deep again for a kill against Oriel, but Sevka pushes him away with a Detainment Strike, and the Shrine, the Temple, is taken over by Team Dignitas. Getting a bit tricky again for Synergy. They are falling farther and farther behind in experience. Dignitas is about to hit level 10. This is looking rough.
Yeah, with 10 on the horizon too, we had Dignitas go for a boss. In fact, they are going for a boss. They grab the experience in the middle by Gul'dan clearing out that wave. They started up here. JPL, with the potential sanctification being available, should be able to make sure that they net that boss right away. Synergy is gripping Mercs in the top right corner because they would like to get their own pressure in some form, and will be able to start hitting the top lane. But all 3 forts will fall for Synergy, and Dignitas with a full level lead is going to start pushing in the bottom with this boss.
That level lead doesn't really concern me as much as the structural lead that they have. This is the crazy thing. There's every single fort has been taken out, and even structures at those keeps have already taken damage. So it's not only the experience that really matters here, it's how important these objectives become now for Synergy, because they don't have any structures left to really tank shots. Dignitas is working on that even harder. They know what an awkward position Synergy is in right now, so they just take the mid wall here. Snitch is really eager to make sure that the gate falls. It's another shot that could have been soaked later on by soaked off once the objectives are online. So Dignitas is doing fantastic. I really like it. Nearly a 2-level lead. This is looking amazing for them.
Yeah, and this also makes it hard for Probius to soak the double lanes like he was doing already due to the force being lost. So instead he just pushes the top lane, which keeps Dahaka here. But with the team of Dignitas rotating out, Synergy will be forced to pull their pro back and deal with the giants that are in the bottom right. But this is the part where Synergy starts to lose a lot of value in their Probius pick, just for the mere fact that he can't ever move past the middle of the map. He has no infrastructure to run to. If he gets ganked, he's going to die easily. So we're going to have a hard time for Synergy, and Dignitas will keep laying on the pressure.
Power is moving in and trying to sneak a quick peek if they maybe can invade that camp while it's being taken, or with Dignitas already completing it, they just move back right away. They would have loved to force an even fight at this point, just simply because they know later on it's going to be a bit rougher for them, since soon enough level 13 talents are going to be available for Dignitas, and that little power spike there would put them behind. So Synergy is going to try and get level 13 themselves before they fight. The problem is that we should see very soon the next objective being announced, and this is actually where Synergy is attempting to get experience by just taking down structures.
JPL is on endurance. He is set up to move in for an engage. He will swipe at Neon. Here's Zelia with a rotation on the right side. Lunara will sort of retreat. There is a photon overcharge going off, and if you aren't careful, that is deceptively strong. Snitch, though, immediately kills off the pylon to kill the DPS.
They're trying to see if they can take down Zelia. They should probably move away with Lucy. They have the tools to move out of this, but it's getting a bit rough, and that is Power of Dream getting annihilated. Or is there heal? Nope, there's not, and that's the kill right there. Could be Sevka dying on top of that too. Yeah, triple kill. I feel like Synergy suffers from the same problem. They had a chance to walk away and they just didn't do it. And it's one of those things that triggers me a little bit, because they are a talent down, their power spike as explained earlier, and they know that hits at 13. You got the fort. Why would you fight?
I think I agree with you. I mean, they even picked up the Nimble Wisp here, and I think they believe they use it in the top left by that Giants, but you can actually anchor your own flank that Dahaka can come from by dropping a Wisp there, and you can put all 5 members in the front lane, and the moment you see Dahaka, you just retreat away and don't get caught there. And what happened was we had Tyrael jump on the back right, Arthas got caught in the bottom left. Synergy does this time and time again. In fact, they seem to do it very often on Sky Temple. It happens all the time, it seems like.
So now we're talking 13 in just a moment. Again, They know their Hawkeye is at the bot lane. He has a global available. Don't force the battle too much. Try to pick up the experience first. Take a few of the minions and move into the mid lane. Now there's the 13 talent. So now we can talk about unfair advantage. They are on even talents. This is going to help them quite a bit in these battles. But losing those 3 heroes a bit earlier, that was unnecessary. They had a great spot. They took down a fort. And with Lucio and Oriel, they had an easier way to just disengage, which they didn't do.
This time they have a better setup, though. They have Pounce on the right side. They put their Ws from Probius both in the bushes and a Wisp as well. So they had all flanks set up. Really, their team composition does fall apart if they do not have 2 pylons up, just because of Hydra and that Photon Overcharge. But if they do have the 2 pylons up and a Photon Cannon, for the most part, they can handle pressure coming their way. Unless a Horrify connects like that, my golly!
Holy cow, that was an immediate burn on Onara. Main damage healer gone, Probius falling as well. 16 versus 13 now in experience and talents. Dignitas is looking so good here. Bottom keeper has already been taken apart. They move into the middle. They're going to take this one too. And they might even, with another kill, go for the core if they can make it happen.
Holy Ground's available to section off teammates and opponents. So there we go. Dignitas will grab the second keep easily and continue their pressure. Do you think Dignitas was a little bit rustled by the loss in game number 2? Because they look like they're a bit angry in this game.
I would be angry too if I was them. Again, every single map matters at this point. I just think that this time they exploited the aggression of Synergy perfectly. That last Horrify in particular won the team fight. I mean, we don't even have to talk about anything else. That Horrify straight up won the entire fight.
Identification used. Hawkeyes on the left side looking for a drag on either Lucio or Power here. He does connect with the Lucio somehow, even with all those minions popping up, the Army of the Dead. JPL's being chased back here. He's going to use the Holy Ground to section on his teammates, and they turn around and focus Power. Ages will be used. Gul'dan goes around the Fell Flame. Sound Barrier popped, and Synergy's wanting to run over Dignitas.
They're moving in. Here comes the Horrify again, and Arthas dies, and so does Lucio. Horrifies just wrecked this team. Mena is absolutely on point with his ults here.
Now Snitch chasing the Oriel should be able to get this kill at the last second. No, he gets away as Neon retreats in there to go in for the aggressive play and get some hope available to Oriel so she could heal herself. So Dignitas takes the moment to move to the boss, and now they have a big push set up for the bottom. And at this point, do you go for the all-in on the core? You don't have sanctification, and it's still 40 seconds, but you do have a talent lead.
At this point, you basically... So the biggest concern for Synergy right now is whether they type GG in caps lock or not.
It is the dilemma of my life.
Silly jokes aside. We have a temple on the map and they have boss. So Dignitas, the only team that can win it right now for Synergy is Dignitas. If they completely blank and they throw the team fight, then Synergy has a chance coming back into this. But Dignitas can either go immediately for the core as a 5-man, they can rotate to the top, they take the keep in the meantime, they can go to the temple, get the keep that way. So if Synergy wants to recover from being this far behind, it can only happen if Dignitas throws a team fight. There's no other way. And there's, again, Horrify up, and there's also the Sanctification. This should be Dignitas walking away with a victory right here.
Yeah, they definitely set themselves up for it. They waited to grab the boss until Sanctification was at 20 seconds, so by the time they got to core, they would have it available. Now they're moving straight towards it. Power's on the right side looking at Malfurion here. Locking down the healer or Greymane could be great for them. Sound Barrier has been popped, and Synergy is going to pray for a miracle defense.
Yeah, Dignitas moving in, but so far Synergy is playing it slow. I like it, not engaging too hard. Probius, on the other hand, gets saved by an Aegis. We have them moving in again. Horrify is out, and that's the kill, the double kill as Probius and Arthas fall, and that's going to be game.
Dignitas taking a lead in this series 2-1 as they bite back onto Synergy.
Yeah, Dignitas looked a bit mad in this game, and they are playing a great match here. Few mistakes on the side of Synergy. Overall, Probius just didn't really get the same amount of value that it got the last time, but I really liked... There were a lot of cool moments for Synergy for sure. The problem really was Mena with those Horrifies. The entire team on the side of Dignitas was absolutely on point, but the Horrifies, they just straight up destroyed them. 2 team fights were one off the Horrify immediately, where they in the first one got 3 kills and the second one 2 kills. So that ult is just brutal. It's one of the main reasons, it's the main reason why Gul'dan these days oftentimes is also banned out first.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. After 16 hit, Dignitas had so many tools to handle the fight that it was just imperative in the top right corner when the Mercenary was being grabbed. Sanification, Holy Ground, peeling the side, cutting off Arthas, and Synergy made it through all that, being a talent tier down, and then the moment they go in for a harder engage, the Horrify coming out, as you mentioned, just being a little bit too much overall. Dignitas having all the tools in their basket and securing a victory. We'll be right back with the game number 4. This is the HGC. The Holy Ground to section on his teammates, and they turn around and focus power. Ages will be used. Gul'dan goes around the Fell Flame. Sound Barrier popped, and Synergy's wanting to run over Dignitas.
They're moving in. Here comes the Horrify again, and Arthas dies, and so does Lucio. Horrify's just wrecked this team. Mane is absolutely on point with his ults here.
And Snitch chasing Lenorial should be able to get this kill at the last second.